Thank you for tuning in to Voice of Reason Boston. My name is Tamisha Civil, your host. We have a wonderful guest this morning. Her name is Kimberly Zouzoua. We will be talking about the Center for Women in Enterprise fourth annual summit. Kimberly is the Vice President of Strategic Partnership. We're going to learn more about the summit, what's going to happen, who's going to be there, and how it came about. So Kimberly, thank you for coming on Voice of Reason. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, and thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and to tell you about Center for Women Enterprise and our Women of Color Business Summit.
Excellent. So just give us a little bit of introduction. What is the Center for Women in Enterprise?
Well, the Center for Women in Enterprise is an organization that's located here in Boston, Massachusetts, and it's an organization that is focused on supporting women entrepreneurs, as well as within a very intentional focus, as well as an unapologetic focus on women of color. I've been with the organization now for 4 years, and in coming on board, had some very strong conversations with the president about what are we doing for women of color in the space. And we really came up and identified there was really not a space here in New England where women of color entrepreneurs could really come together, sit, develop relationships, and identify resources, and maybe overcome some of the challenges that are specific to women of color entrepreneurs in this space. What a lot of people don't realize is that when it comes to that particular population, economically, it is the fastest growing aspect, right, within the industry of women entrepreneurs. However, it is the least supported women in that space when it comes to identifying resources, funding, and everything else. So we at the center ensure that all women have an opportunity to not only just move the economy, but grow their communities through and by entrepreneurship and working with women of color in particular.
Well said, because I think what happened, well, what I've seen from experiences after COVID, there has been a lot of African American or women in general that are tapping into their gift, and they are exceptionally doing well in their own businesses.
Yes.
But you are absolutely correct. There are not many resources out there for women of color to be able to grow within what they're doing in the community or in the business within themselves. So I think it's very important that we have summits such as what your organization is doing, and being able to educate women on how we can continue to move further and tap into our goals and our dreams, because we all want to be able to work for ourselves at some point. And by doing this summit, I think this would be the gateway to continue to collaborate with other organizations and other women to find out what exactly we can do to grow this even further than what it's going right now.
Correct. Also like to mention that when we all came together to really establish the conference, this conference is actually developed by women of color for women of color. So, and I always say in my welcome that we do look forward and we do welcome our Eurocentric sisters. At the same time, with them being there, I always say that this is an opportunity for them to learn and to hear what is taking place in this particular space, for them to learn and become better allies for when they're in places where we're not represented, they can speak intelligently for us in that particular space because they're aware of what's happening.
As a vice president of strategic planning, what is your exact role into the summit, making sure that everything is going according to plan and that everyone is not left behind, especially women that are here to gain something out of this summit?
Right. So my role as Vice President of Strategic Partnerships really is to oversee all of the revenue generation for the organization
Okay.
through and by foundations, individuals, corporates, and managing our relationship with WeBank, which is the Women Business Enterprise National Council, which is the largest certifier of women-owned businesses and the strongest and loudest advocate. And so this actually is like my baby, which has then become now a part of the Women of Color initiative within the organization, as we have focused on developing programming, specifically programming content for women of color. We have facilitated our workshops and our classes in Spanish, Mandarin, Haitian Creole as well, and ensuring, again, everyone has access. So we make it our business to go into communities.
You're right.
Because you cannot generalize how you move forward, because it's about establishing trust. So we actually have 5 centers. We have 2 in Massachusetts, 1 in Rhode Island, 1 in New Hampshire, and the other in Vermont. And so all of our centers are focused on tapping into the ethnic demographic there. Making things happen.
So what can women look forward to once they attend the summit? I know the summit is November 1st. It's 8 to 5, 8 in the morning to 5 p.m. But what can we gain out of this? If a woman is like myself listening to our conversation, what can I gain from it? What's going to push me to even want to attend the summit that you're having?
So for women attending, they will be able to build networks, right? And gain practical tools for success. There's opportunities to meet with other fellow entrepreneurs, business leaders, I will even say like-minded trailblazers, right? Who are really reshaping the industries and rewriting the rules. And it's also about building a sistership. I'm not going to say hood, because we don't need hood mentality, right? But it's about building sistership and sister relationships. Because oftentimes when women of color come together, we always think about competing. We immediately go to competing, right? But here's the opportunity to collaborate and change mindset from being lacking, right? That there's lacking of opportunities to where there's an abundance. How do you come together? How do we work together? Business to business working. And that's what it's about. How do we build and support and be in a space to really talk about the issues impacting us, and then holding our leaders who will be there speaking accountable, right? And for them to hear our voice for them while they're in those spaces to make change, to make those changes.
And I would ask, as a woman of color in such a prestigious role, I would say, in that organization, what have you learned throughout your experience as a woman of color that you would like to share with other women like yourself, or upcoming women who are graduating from college? What has been your experience, and that you would like to make sure that, you know, when a woman like myself or yourself walk into a room, they get that same opportunity as everyone else or their counterparts?
One is, do not be afraid to speak your truth and your experience. I think oftentimes when especially our young sisters go into an environment where they may not see others that look like them, they kind of acquiesce back and acquiesce down. And that's not the time to do that. Yes, there is a way in how you speak your truth, because you want to make sure people will hear you, but do not be afraid to do so. Because what I have learned over my past professional years, that when I have spoken my truth, people want to hear it. And they don't realize, it's like, wow, how then can we begin to make change? I think also we have to begin to look, how do we move in breaking down our stereotypical thinking? Yes, it is difficult, challenging when we talk about breaking that glass ceiling, but we have women of color that have gone before us that have done so. And then there are those that are of non-color or Eurocentric sisters, right? understand the importance of diversity, right? And understand the importance and the difference between equality, right? And being what's the word that I'm looking for? Equality, and when you're making things equal, right?
Right.
To that space, they know it's important and will be willing to help you in that space.
Right.
What I've learned is that when you are seeking out help or seeking mentorship, for 9 times out of 10, that's very impressive to folk, and they're willing and wanting to help you in that space. So don't be afraid to speak your truth and be who you are. Be who you are. What I usually tell folk is when you try to be like others, you get caught up in the mix. And so
Right.
you don't stand out for people to see who you are. So therefore you can elevate. So if you're doing
Absolutely.
what everybody else is doing, you're not going to grow, right? But if you step out and be who you are, and you are excellent in what you do, you will grow. And
Right.
people see that. And don't be afraid to do that. And
And
establish network with everyone who you feel as though can help you move along, right? You don't
right.
want to stick to one. You want to be able to meet folk and build your network, because you never know, right, what is happening, because you can be at a table and not even physically be there, because an opportunity will come up and someone may have spoken to you, or you have presented your wares, and then they will say, hey, I met a young woman. We might want to get in contact with her to see how she can help us move this forward, and see, boom, there's an opportunity. So you have to think about being in a space or in a place when you're not even present, who can carry your legacy, who can carry your brand forward.
I like that. I like how you said that, because one of the things that your organization offers entrepreneurs are these things that you're saying on how to be a strong woman, but being able to communicate effectively. Now, oftentimes, we hear about this angry Black women, but we can agree to disagree, but we can have a conversation where you can hear me. Can you talk about some of the things that you offer within your organizations for entrepreneurs, so that way people know that you're not only doing summits, but you also are in the piece, you're in the piece of educating and talking about what it means to be an entrepreneur, how to be an entrepreneur.
Sure. So we actually work with women who are in the beginning idea stages, thinking about starting a business. We work with women who have started their business and looking and wanting to learn how to keep it sustainable. And we work with women who have sustained their business, now looking to grow. So we have a myriad of corporate relationships and partners that will come in and offer pro bono services if they're needing to set up, their finances, they need to set up their legal. We have relationships with various banks that once you go through our business planning course, right, you will have a bank ready planning plan.
That's awesome.
Right,
yeah,
to be able to present. And with a few of our banks, such as Harbor One, they are aware of our training. So therefore, they have a particular product. You don't even have to go through their training services. Once they see that you've come through CWE and you completed that plan, there's a myriad of product that now you're ready to apply for. Can I guarantee you're going to get the dollars? No, but you've already have already overcome one challenge, right? Going through the course. We also have our Power Forward course for those women who are now looking to grow their business with a focus on certification. So we are aligned again with women with the We Bank, and that certification is very intense, to the point we have reciprocity with the state of Massachusetts and now with the city of Boston. Wow. So if you certify through CWE We Bank, you will also become eligible to go for state contracts, city contracts, and domestic contracts nationally and with our U.S. territories. And if you check off another box in that application certification, you will then also become federally certified. And
Wow.
what makes our process a little bit more intense is that not only must a woman be 51% owner, she has to show that she is also the leader of the organization, she's operating the organization, and final decision making that goes out that door is that of a woman.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so awesome. So I encourage any young woman who is listening to this podcast on 590 AM, please go to the summit. It sounds like you're going to get a lifetime of goals that you want to have met. You are going to be able to achieve these goals in your vision. You're not alone. There's going to be other women like you, like-minded women like you, to continue to help you and push you to elevate you to where you want to be in the future. And I know all of us don't want to be working 9 to 5 for the rest of our lives. So please, if you're listening to this interview, definitely go to Eventbrite. Is that where they can?
They go to Eventbrite
Yeah.
and sign up. And if they so happen to go to the website, it may say that registration is closed, but we have reopened it. So it will be closing the set tonight at 11:30 p.m. We will be gathering, like you said, on November 1st. And we are very excited because this is our first time. We'll be at Babson College in their executive center. So this is the first time we're going live in person. Wow. Because we launched it, it was during COVID. And we were trying to wait. We said, no, we're going to do it in 2021. But because of everything that was happening on the social justice front, we said to ourselves, it is imperative that at this point we launch this. And we launched it virtually. And it was a huge success.
That's awesome. Can you tell me who are some of your guest speakers? Who's going to be dropping gems for these women?
Oh, sure. We're really excited. Our morning keynote will be with Secretary Yvonne Howe, who actually oversees the Office of Economic Development for Massachusetts. We have an afternoon keynote panel, which will be moderated by our own Representative Brandy Fluker Oakley, who we know is the state representative for Massachusetts 12th District. Celia Blue, who's president and CEO of the Massachusetts Women of Color Coalition, will be on that panel. Inclusive of Dr. Shakina Williams, who is the executive director of the Frank and Eileen Center for Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership at Babson College. We have Zouzoua Wong, who is the founder and CEO of Tomo 360, which is a nationwide marketing organization. We have Natalie Rodriguez, who is the owner and chef of Nuestra. And we have just so many people that will be coming out and speaking. And meeting. We also have resource vendors that will be there. CVS is a huge supporter of ours. So their health mobile unit will be out there at the event as well. So we encourage people to come out if you need a quick checkup, no cost to you. It's all about health, especially now, even though it's almost the end of the month, when it comes to breast cancer awareness. Come out, get your mammogram. It's free. You know, we're all about supporting women on the whole 360 front. So we will have workshops focused on networking. We will have workshops focused on health, right? And self-care. What does that mean, right? We have workshops on the importance of certification, as well as getting your financial house ready. Right. Personally and with your business. And then in the afternoon, we will be having opportunities to network.
That's awesome. And can you just give us when, where, and how again on to get the information for November 1st to attend the summit?
Sure. So folk can go on to cweonline.org. Or they can actually go into Eventbrite and do Women of Color Business Summit CWE. And for those who are listening and are interested in signing up, I have a discount code for you. And that discount code to use when you're signing up is CWE, P as in Paul, R 2023 and that will give you 50% discount.
Wow, that's awesome. CWEP 2023 TY.
So it's actually CWEPR.
CPWEPR.
Yes,
Okay.
CWEPR 2023 TY.
And I will have that information typed up for those who are going to be watching this on social media. And again, ladies, don't miss this opportunity. November 1st, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Even if you can't make the whole 8 hours, come at least one or 2 hours and get the information that you want to in order to grow as an entrepreneur. And Kimberly, as we depart, is there anything else that you would like to add or say to our viewers or those who are tuning in this morning?
Yes, and if you don't have the opportunity to come out to the event on November 1st, and you are very serious about starting your own business, or you have a lot of questions about starting your own business, reach out to CWE, because we're about creating community. And as I said before, we create a 360 approach. So what I like to say to our funders and those who are wanting to learn more about us, not only do we teach women, right, but we will take you by the hand and we will take you to the shore, make a space at the shore, which is another conversation in itself. And because of our relationships with corporations that are corporate members, they are the fish of which now we will connect you. So therefore your business can grow, and we help corporates meet their bottom line goals when it comes to supplier diversity. So there is a connectivity, we create community, and we take a woman where she is to where she desires to be with her business.
And with that being said, ladies, it's time to level it up. It's time to level it up. Go get your tickets. Go get the information that you need to start that business. This is your season. This is your time. Kimberly Zouzoua, thank you so much for coming on Voice of Reason Boston to talk about this 4th annual summit that you're having for women of color and for all women in Massachusetts, not just women of color, but women in general, because when we come together, we are strong.
That's right.
So I want to say thank you very much. And those who are tuning in, thank you so much. Tamisha Civil is back and we are in full effect. Thank you.